What's going on? Welcome in. Welcome on in. Welcome to the 411 podcast. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing out there? Want to give a very special shout out to the people who were on TikTok before we got started. We was listening to all types of music. We went from here to Sade, and now we here on the 411 podcast. Welcome in. Got my friend, Mr. ChristopherDash, coming on in tonight. Welcome in. Let's get this thing started. So, y'all know life is crazy, right? Oh, yeah, that's what's up. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, life is, right? And I can only get out here and speak the truth. So, song of the day, it is what it is. I'm in love. The Gap Band, 79. I wasn't even born. But the origin of this record, how I came to this is because there's this lady in my life, Miss Mary J. Blige, off of the Mary album, 1999. Man, when I first heard this record, I was like, yo, this is it's different. And I love the way Mary had this raspy voice when she was singing it, right? And I was playing it around the house, 99. I must have been 19 years old, fresh out of high school, right? And my mom was like, I heard that before. That song ain't new. And I was like, what? So I had to go back and do some research. And of course, the Gap Band, Uncle Charlie Wilson, Mary, just really the way the voices are parallel against this record is just crazy. So I had to take it back to the original one. So the Gap Band, 1979, I'm in love. And listen, the song, the title, everything speaks for itself. So it is what it is. I also want to say very special shout out and thank you to everybody out there who was checking up on me. I mean, I posted something that was just a snapshot and a moment in time, and so many different people reached out to me, was checking up on me. I want to say thank you all for that, but I'm good. I'm here. I'm in love. We back. So listen, thank you so much for everybody out there rocking on in, and thank you, Instagram people. I see you out there. I say Mr. Moraz Beats in the building from France, and we got mad love for France. So shout out to you and thank you for joining in. If you can just tag your friends and let them know what's going on in here tonight, because I have a feeling there's going to be some real talk, some real situations that's getting ready to go down here inside the 411 podcast. I want to thank everybody out there. If you're out there on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, D Live, Twitch, whatever it is, thank you so much. I appreciate the people who back Laren Gaines, who back the 411 podcast and keep us rocking and rolling the way that we do out here. Because, man, let me tell you, when they say March Madness, it's been some mad. I'm thankful that I'm still here and I haven't folded up, because it's so easy for me to turn left and be like, man, it is what it is. I'm throwing in the towel today. But I just keep rocking and rolling. And it's people like you out there that give me this encouragement, people who DM me, people who text me. I appreciate that. 609-738-0611. Man, listen. So we had a good reading between the wine show the other day, right? Author David L. came in and he did his thing. So please go ahead and watch that replay. Check him out. We talk some real life situations as far as what he wrote and where we were at, whether it was when we were younger, whether we right here in this moment, or whether something like that could potentially happen in the future. He ran his books on Reading Between the Wine. He ran the books, and I ran the wine. So check it out. Very special shout out to the Lash Addict Society, my friend Mr. Alex Coquito. So listen, after we're done tonight, I need y'all to head on over to Alex Coquito on YouTube. I'm going to be on his show. I'm a co-host. I think we're on episode number 5 this week, and we just run it. You're going to get a different type of me on his show, some crazy talk. And when I say some real crazy talk, things go down after midnight over in Puerto Rico. Check him out, Mr. Alex Coquito, airing live at 12 p.m. over there in Puerto Rico, and it will be 11 p.m. here. Not sure if the time is different since we went through some daylight savings time, but anyway, after I get done with the 4-in-1, head on over and check me out on Midnight Vibes, coming real soon. Also, I want to give a very special shout out to my friend Shonda from Slips Gloss by Shonda. You need to get your lip gloss on. You need to get your beauty on. Check her out on Instagram at Slips Gloss, and that's SLIPPZ Gloss by Shonda. I say a very special shout out to Tone and Miss Shanti Refuge. We definitely got to get you to come back on the 411 eventually. I know we had a listen. I said March Madness, right? We had some craziness where I had to actually cancel a show this week, but we gonna get her back on. Miss Lachelle Williams, all the way from the ATL, the Shayla Jules, Sheila Brown. Check her out as well. I believe she has released a new project. Also, Tasha, the polished plus size model, all the way from Florida, the type of Florida that deals with crocodiles, or not crocodiles, alligators, and crazy mess that I wouldn't want to happen in my world. But you do it, and you do it so well. She's on, I believe it's, I'm not even going to say it because I'm going to mess it up. But anyway, she is on TV modeling and doing things properly. I don't want to say the wrong network and get people upset at me. So I'm going to just leave it at that. Also, Mark Ruby from Facebook, thank you for supporting as well. I appreciate you. We hear that was a whole mouthful. Let's get it 411 podcast. So we talked a little bit. That's what we do. We talk and we talk and we talk. We talked a little bit, and basically, this environment, the world is changing, and I just needed to get a pulse check. I needed to see who was out there, what you felt about the environment that we in today, and does it pay to fight and apply pressure like we used to could back in the day? Sometimes you can get away with some stuff. You can do some things back in the day and get away with it, and maybe you get your way, maybe you don't get your way. But today, in this day and age, to fight and apply pressure, and these are some rhetorical questions. It's no wrong answer, because somebody could say, yes, it does pay to fight and apply pressure because this is my life and I need this and I need to fight, because if I don't fight, then that means I'm going to fold up. I'm not going to be here. So in one aspect, somebody might need to fight, somebody who has been treated as a doormat, somebody who has been allowed to be run all over top of most of their life. So today you're going to look him, her, whoever, that thing in the face and say, listen, I'm fighting and I'm applying so much pressure because I need to, because if not, I'm going to fold up and I may not even be alive the next day if I allow you to continue to take me out. That's one aspect of it. Now, like you said, yeah, it depends on what you're fighting for. Some people that might be fighting for that relationship, they might be fighting for that marriage. Listen, I've been through so much. I've been through so much right now. And this is the one thing that is working for me. So I want to fight for this. I can't lose this because I messed up. I messed up so many times. And now you've given me one last chance or whatever to get it together. So I need to fight to make sure that I hold on to this thing. That could be one aspect of it. Like I said, there is no right or wrong answer. What are you fighting for? Does it make sense for you? where you're at today to continue to fight and apply pressure? What about the people that have been fighting all their life and they have just said, you know what? I'm done with it. I gotta throw on my white flag. I'm raising. I'm done. I can't do it. I can't go back and forth with you anymore because guess what? I got everything to lose. And if I continue to fight with you over and over and over again, I'm gonna lose everything. I got the warning signs. Warning shots have been fired, and I understand and I know that I can't continue to play this game anymore. So I'm done. So it could be from so many different aspects. I went from, well, I'm done. I ain't doing this shit no more. I'm done with this. To, you know what? I have to continue to fight to be the person who I have created and who I want to be on this right here. Right what you see right here in the 4-1 podcast. It's easy for me to turn left and say, oh, I'm done with this. I can't, do this anymore. But I realize that this thing is bigger than me and I got to continue to fight and I got to continue to keep pressing. I got to keep pressing on to make this thing work. And of course, I want to see the joyful side of me. I don't want to go back to being the person that I used to be. So I got to fight that every single day. It's like people who have been on drugs, right? And they got their lives together and they cleaned up. That don't mean it is over and the fight is over just because you got yourself together and you cleaned up. Every single day is a fight. When you wake up, you got to make that decision. Am I going to be the person to stand up and do the thing? Or am I going to go ahead and run the streets and go back to something that I know, you know, like familiar to me? This is rough. Sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's hard, but we got to continue to keep fighting and pressing on because guess what? We go back to what's familiar. We go back to acting like a fool. We go back to doing the things that we know are not good for us. It could be very short-lived. King Trey, what's going on? How you doing out there? Laren Gaines, you're such an inspiration, man. I love what you are doing, helping people around the world. Thank you so much. My brother's in the building. What's going on? Mr. Nate Perry, what's good? We got mad love in the building tonight, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming on in here. Now, with that, after you say you're going to fight for something or you're not fighting for things or whatever, you're going to fight, you're not so much that you stopped, or now you got to apply pressure to fight because you're tired of being a doormat for people. At the end of the day, you got to come to a realization that, listen, this got to stop. This has got to stop. I'm done with this. I ain't doing it no more. Whatever it might be. So what are some things in your life that you had to put a stop to? Fake friends. I'm just listing a few. Y'all go ahead and drop in the comments and let me know what you had to put a stop to. Chasing people. That's one thing that I pledged, 2022, that I refuse to continue to keep chasing the same people that I used to continue to chase in the past. If it didn't work before in the past, what the hell makes you think it's going to work today? Come on, Laren. You've been doing this shit for how long? I have to speak to myself like that on some real, I ain't going to say it, but on some real, I need to get with myself like that from time to time. So what are some things that you had to stop in your life? Who did you have to stop? Oh, that's another one, overthinking. That is so true. Like this mind here, this crazy ass mind that I got here will be thinking of what we doing, 5 years from now, what we doing 10 years from now. And even though that is so good to continue to think and dream, but my brain, sometimes I got to fight with myself because it don't want to shut off. And I'll be like, listen, you need to stop overthinking. You're doing too much. You're getting into a new situation. You're getting into a new whatever. Just go with the flow. Stop overthinking things. You get involved with it and you start letting your mind take over. You bound to trip up and mess up and speak something that you probably really shouldn't be speaking. Not right now at this moment. So I get that. You had to stop lies. Listen, when it comes to lies, right? You got to trace it back to where did it come from. So now you told a lie. You only got to lie to me once for me to understand and know what's going on. And it's tricky when it's some business deals. You got to deal with the liars and you got to get along because it's business. But if this is some friendship type stuff and you lie to me once, it's a wrap. I'm done. I got no love for you actually I do got mad love for you, but it's from a distance. You can't come nowhere near me when you speaking lies out of your mouth. And speaking of lies, I woke up just a couple days ago like, damn, this motherfucker lied to me straight up from the beginning, from day one. Right. And when you realize that somebody lied to you and you just so open, mind just blown open, and you allow people to come back into your world after spreading lies, man, listen. Anyway, we going to move on and see what Mr. Christopher Dash has to say about lies and things that we were talking about. What is he stopping in his world today?
Good evening, good evening.
What's going on? How are you? Welcome to the 411 podcast.
I'm doing well today. I'm doing well.
I
Thank
got
you for allowing me to be here.
yes. Welcome on in. I got hung up on lies, right? So it's not necessarily lies, but what are you putting a stop to in your world today?
For me, it's putting a stop to giving so much energy to everyone else and giving more to myself. Usually, what my downfall is I'll give it all out. I got a lot, so I'll give it all out, but you don't leave any for yourself.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Sometimes. So I'm trying to put a stop to that.
Been there and done
Because
that
you
before.
can't now pour from the empty cup, right?
When I used to do it back in the day, by the time it got time for me to deal with other people, you wouldn't even want to deal with Laren because
Right.
I have be ready to just become this monster because I was so empty and so drained. You let everybody else take from you, and by the end of the day, you can't you ain't even talking to people the right way like you're supposed to. There's the respect level is all gone. Craziness.
Yep. Exactly. You don't even understand why you can't do things a certain way now. You can't you can't even think right because you done gave it all away.
Can't even think straight. That's so true. So true.
Like you got no energy. You're so tired. It's just
yeah. So now, where are you calling from tonight?
So I'm calling from Connecticut. That's way up north, right next to New York City.
I'm familiar.
The Rhode Island area, New Jersey, tri-state.
That's funny. When you think of the tri-state, I think of New York, Philly, and
really?
I think of New York, Jersey, Philly. But I guess the tri-state could be so much different. But so your tri-state technically is what now?
New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
All right. Somehow Jersey gets wrapped up into it no matter what.
I think as long as you got New York in that tri-state, I think you're good.
Yeah. All right. So what's going on in Connecticut? What's good in your neighborhood?
Everything's good here. It's pretty much things are the same. Pretty much everywhere you go. People are the same. There's good people, there's bad people. There's good things, there's bad things. It's just really about how you're looking at it, what your perspective is, and what you're taking advantage of, what you're agreeing to.
You said people are the same. Now I'm gonna have to beg to differ on that. People are mad different in so many different parts.
Yeah. Okay.
There's certain areas I won't even go to no more today. I'm just keeping it real. I was having a conversation today, and I was like, "Yeah, Mary coming over here, but I'm gonna have to check and wait till she come to New York because I ain't messing with certain parts.
Oh no. You're right.
Just not doing it today.
I think certain areas, or not certain areas. I'm sorry. I just think certain things, kind of repeat. So even it might look a little different over here in this part of the world, but it's still kind of the same. You're gonna once you're looking at it, you'll say, okay, I know what that is. Okay, I'm gonna avoid that. Or you're over here, it might look a little different, but you're like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I want to join with that. That's kind of what I meant. It's not the same, but it's not the same either. It's a lot different too.
No, I feel you on that. So now you have a business. You want to let us know what your business is?
I do. So my business is Dash T. That's the name of it. And what we do, we have custom clothing, shoes, hoodies, T-shirts, the work, hats. And, our clothing, a lot of the stuff that you'll see there is things that I've can come up with. But also some of the things you'll see on my site is things that other people came up with. They say, hey, listen, I want my T-shirt to say this.
Mm.
And then, I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. And they give me the idea. I work with it. I'll make up a design. I'll make it say what they want to say. And we just kind of work together to, bring their voice out in that piece of clothing. Because that's really, my whole idea. I want to give them to put it through their clothing, So that's kind of why I started.
Dash Tees. Okay, so let's rewind this a little bit. So, when did you start your business?
So it was about May of 2020
Okay.
that I started. So 2 years, almost. We're coming up on 2 years in May.
So,
And
I
I started with this me. You walking around the street. Me. I'm very kind of artistic person. I like to express myself through poetry, music. I like to sing, things like that. But also through clothing. So a lot of times I'm looking at a shirt, I'm like, you know what? Or an idea will pop in my head. I'm like, man, I wish I had that on the T-shirt.
Mm.
And then, I happened to come across Shopify, and they kind of hooked me up with vendors, and it just kind of took off from there.
Okay, so have you always been a stylish person?
As far as fashion, I've always had my own style. Not so much the mainstream style, but I always had things that I liked in a certain way that I wanted to dress or a certain way I felt myself. And a lot of times it didn't match up with the mainstream, but I did have a certain style that I always wanted, or a way I felt myself in clothing, I should say.
What now? Growing up, were you able to get every single thing that you wanted? Like when you saw the new sneakers were out, or you saw the, the fresh jerseys that were out. Was it easy for you to get things? Because
Not at all, not at
yeah.
all. I grew up in Hartford, Connecticut. We didn't have a lot to work for what we got. So that's kind of how I grew up. And if we did get things, or certain things, it was just made it work. You worked with what you had.
That absolutely. I
feel
it
made that look good.
Yeah, yeah. I know it's like so many people that get into fashion and so many people who come from a fashion sense. It normally starts off with a lack of in the beginning. And then, like you said, you learn how to make it work and you improvise and you do certain things and you make it work. So I just had to ask that question because I wanted to see if there was that same common theme. So, what was the first thing that you bought for yourself where you were like, I did it, and you're like, all right, now I can come out fresh because I've been waiting to get those sneakers or get that jacket or can you remember the first time that you had to actually work for something and you got it and you were like,
definitely.
Yeah.
So I worked at Sears High School. Sears and Roebuck. They're probably not in business anymore, but I worked for them, and I got my little employee discount. Got my fresh pair of Reeboks. I got the nice khakis with the sweater vest, button up shirt, and I thought I was everything, walking into high school like that with my Reeboks on and my employee discount.
Yeah.
And that made me really feel. I felt like something, and I did it on my own. Through my own means, I worked for it, and I got it, and that was everything to me.
I think.
I mean, it even could have been a pack of bubble gum, and I'd have just been happy about it because I worked for it, and I got it on my own.
Right. Right. I remember first down jackets. Remember them?
Ooh, I remember that.
I remember getting myself a first down jacket and was like, yeah, you couldn't tell me nothing.
Tell me nothing, right?
You couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me to take it off neither. I remember
I know that's right.
I remember when it was like April and I was still rocking my first down jacket.
Yeah. Hey, you can't tell me nothing. I bought that with my own money. I hear that.
Let me see this comment here. Talk about when I mistake you for a supervisor. I don't know what that means.
Oh, that's my buddy Juan right there.
What's that mean? What's
So I work for the post office,
hmm
and
today?
I started as
Currently, this is what you do.
currently this is what I do right now.
Okay. Okay.
On top of having my business,
hmm
my clothing business. The post office is my full time job, and currently right now I work in human resources in the training department. But
Mm.
I started out as a mailman. I was a
Oh,
mail
what's up?
carrier, and I would see Juan from time to time, and he would come to my office because he worked in a different office. But
hmm
mail carriers have a certain uniform, but with me, the way my father kind of brought me up, he always was into business as well. So, you would dress the part, you would dress for success. So
hmm
even sometimes when I'm delivering mail, I would have like, button up shirt on, some nice pants and nice shoes and just out there delivering mail like that. So when Juan came into my office, he thought I was a supervisor and he started asking me questions, but of course I knew all the answers. So
hmm
it didn't help him to think that I wasn't, until the actual supervisor told him I'm not the supervisor.
You gotta
So
act.
that's what that's about.
You gotta act like the part. I was always told that whatever
Play the
you
part,
want,
right?
you need to act like whatever you want. So
That's
you
for
want,
success.
yeah, if you want, you gotta go towards it, and you gotta get around a good group of people. Get around the people
Exactly.
who have what you want. If you're sitting at a
Right.
table and every single person looks just like you, and you feel
Right.
comfortable because they look just like you and they got the same problems that you got, that's not always cool. Like people that
Yeah.
sit around and
Right.
be like, I feel you. No,
Hmm.
I don't need you to feel nothing. Actually, I need to get away from you because I need to get around somebody where, you know, they need to teach me
Right.
something instead of me always teaching people around me. You should not,
Sometimes we got to get uncomfortable, you know.
if you are the smartest person in the room and you're okay with that all the time,
Right.
because you
That's
think
wrong.
that you think that you're doing something and people need you for something, yeah, they're gonna need you so much that they are gonna drain you dry, and you ain't gonna have
Exactly.
nothing left. Now, speaking
I
of
agree with
which,
that.
I want to take it back to the post office. You're inside now. I would
I'm
love to
inside.
be outside. I like to be
Yeah.
outside and be in my own world. And it's interesting that you went from outside having a little bit of freedom. Not gonna say
Hmm.
a lot because you still got a job to be done.
Right.
To go on inside.
So I did it specifically for a specific reason. I should say, I enjoy being outside. I enjoy being a mail carrier. I probably would still do it. But, the one thing that I really needed, or, why I got to the post office was I needed time and I needed stability for my family.
Mm.
So a lot of times when you take higher positions or inside jobs, you gain more time, you gain more money financially, and now you can do the other things that are really your passions, or put yourself in a position that is actually your passion.
Now
And
I'm actually going to
yeah,
play devil's advocate because
okay,
I hear you, but then I don't hear you. And
okay,
this is for the people who go for that position. And yes, you
hmm,
need to make money for your family. I get it all. But yes, you get that higher position, but that higher position comes with a lot of stress. And a lot of
yeah,
stress means that, yeah, you just cut about an hour or two away from family time. I mean, you had time before. Now, because you have to stay at the job longer or you have to take a whole hour just to get yourself together by the time you come home from a stressful environment,
hmm,
sometimes a higher position, more money means less time with the family.
sometimes it does. And with this position I took, though, I've gotten the opposite. When I joined the post office, I was very, I've had many jobs before this, and the post office is now kind of like at the end of my working career, and I've had a perspective now where I kind of know where to aim myself. I know what I want. I know what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So before I even joined the post office, I saw the opportunity that it was. I saw the big picture of where it could put me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and another thing that I took me about 30, 35 years to realize is what my passion was, which was helping people. I've always done it, but I didn't know that that was my actual thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's what I'm good at. So, I'm a cheerleader. I'm a helper. I love to give you the knowledge that's going to help you make you successful.
Yeah.
So, that's why I took the position that I took, because it puts me in that position. As far as the stress is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
I've also learned how to deal with that, because post office is very high stress.
Yeah.
But
I
knowledge is power, and the more you know, the less or the more of a shield you create for yourself for that stress, because people will definitely take advantage of your ignorance. So I've soaked up so much knowledge. I don't know everything, of course not, and I don't try to know everything, but I know people who know things, And what I've done now is, now that I've learned a lot, I want to share it with everyone else. So now that you know what I know, and now not only am I succeeding, but you're succeeding as well. So that's pretty much my goal with the position that I've taken, which is in training.
Well, I give you
because like I said, it's high stress. So I know if I was stressed, I know you're going to be stressed too. So my whole goal now is, now that I've went through all of this, I went through all this hard, I don't want you to go through it. I'm going to do everything I can to help you avoid those pitfalls.
Well, I got to give you credit for that.
Keeps me going.
I got to give you so much credit for that. If I was working at, believe it or not, I actually tried to apply for the post office, and I'm glad that I didn't, because I would have given everybody a new meaning to that term, going postal. Because the person that I used to be, I can't even imagine. I would have given a new meaning to the term going postal. You don't hear too many stories about that, but we're gonna get off of that because that's not what we came here to talk about. But
I mean, it's a fact, though. It is a fact.
All right. Well, congratulations for that, and I'm glad that you're able to work and make that thing happen. And Dash Tees, if you could right now let everybody know where we can follow you at, your website, any other social media handles that you have out there, and any way people can get in contact with you and how to get the process started.
Okay. So my website, I'll start with that. It's called Dash Tees with an S .myshopify.com. So DASHTEE .myshopify.com. That's the website where you can find all my products from there. I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook. So Instagram, I'm at Dashopia, DASHOPIA. On Facebook, it's just Dash Tees. If you search that, you'll find me. Or you could also search me, ChristopherDash, and you'll find me. You'll see me with my suit on, my hat, my derby, and that's how you can get to me.
So, make a T-shirt. I want to make a few. I don't need many. Just for a couple people. Is that feasible? Does that work, or does it need to be, a set amount?
No, it's if you just want one, then we'll do one. If you want 10, then we'll do 10. It's up to you. I'm very flexible, and the site is very flexible. And like I said, I'll work with you to make sure that what you're trying to say is absolutely portrayed on that shirt. You're absolutely happy with what you want.
Okay, that's a turnaround time. We put in an order. Let's say I put in an order on Monday.
Yeah.
When can we expect to have it?
So that's the thing that I'm really pleased about. I don't have to keep any personal product in my residence. Everything is online. So once I create the design and I send it to the vendor that I work with, that makes up the design, packs it, ships it, and they're very fast. They're very quick. So Monday you do it. It'll take maybe two or 3 days to work up the design. They'll let me know it's shipping. They're going to send you an email on Wednesday, and they ship through the post office, which they ship priority. So about 1 to 2 days after that, so maybe Saturday, for Monday, you'll have your product. So a good 7 days maybe for everything, and that's being generous. A lot of times it's faster than that.
There you have it, Mr. ChristopherDash Dash Tees. Now, let me make sure I got it right. You said it was dashtees.com? Oh, no, it's different, right? You got to say it again for me.
So -t
Mm-hmm.
dot myshopify.com.
Okay. There you go. dashtees.myshopify.com. Got it.
Exactly.
There you go. Got it. So, Miss Shonda was in the building tonight. I don't know if you're still there.
How you doing, Miss Shonda?
But I saw her out there. All right, now we're gonna go a little bit with the mail delivery, and then we're gonna get right on it. Then we're gonna get right on into burning questions. You know, I think of some crazy things, and I'm always thinking of some jacked up stuff. I want to know if this has ever happened to you, because I've seen this happen where all of a sudden it comes the first of the month, and the mailman is late, and then in certain parts of this world, when you get there and you late, and it's the first of the month, you got a whole bunch of people pissed off at you, pouring water on you, trying to fight you. Does that happen? You've seen that before, right?
I've seen that before. As far as me personally, I've been in customer service a long time, so I'm very good at de-escalation.
There ain't no de-escalating that in some of these areas.
I'm very good at it. So even if you're totally mad, you come at me, you're pissed off. I have a way about myself where I can talk to you, and then by the 5 minutes, 10 minutes into the conversation, now we're friends. You know, it doesn't work 100% of the time, but I'll give it a good 90%. I've not perfected, but I've gotten very good at, dealing with those type of situations and learning how to deal with irate people and actually de-escalating it. Because, like I said, I've done lots of customer service. Actually, had like collection jobs where I was that person that called you about your bill. You owe AT&T about $400. I was that person. So I definitely lied. So and then my personality type, or even just the way I talk to you, like how you have a certain voice. It's very common. So when you're talking to me, you're keeping me at a certain level just by the way you're talking to me. And you're keeping me calm. So I try to use that, the same way when I'm out there, and especially if a person's angry. And the main thing I do with a person like that, I'll let them know that I understand what their problem is. I'm listening to you, and this is what I can do for you, because that's what they want to know. Even if it's not, they want to know, where's my check at? Where's my check?
I feel you on that, but I'm telling you, some areas, like I said,
by the end of our conversation, you know that I'm on your side. I'm gonna help you get that check.
I'm listening to what you're saying, but I'm not understanding, because certain parts that talking ain't gonna work. By that time, somebody gonna pour something on you, go upside your head.
My thing is too, I build relationships. So before the first of the month, let's say we at the 15th now. I'm walking through that same neighborhood. Hey, what's up? I'm looking at you. You see me every day. We see each other every day. So now we're on a different level.
Listen.
Now, when it comes to that where's my check scenario, now we're on a whole different level now, because I've already, from the jump, I'm already on top of it. Not attacking you so much, but I'm trying to get to you, so we have a different type of relationship. So now I'm not just that guy you just seen on Monday. You don't know who I am, where I've been. You see me all the time. You can approach me, I can approach you. I got your back.
All of the talking in the world, I'm telling you, ain't gonna matter when people money is at stake. All the talking in the world, all the friendships, and
we just ain't trying to hear it either.
Yeah.
But I've never had that extreme of a situation that they want to fight me.
And I'm glad that you were not.
Thank God.
In that situation, because all the talking.
Right, but it does happen.
I know.
It can happen.
Don't I know it?
That's crazy, especially at mail delivery.
That and the dogs chasing after people.
And that's another thing, You got to know how to deal with dogs. But I've been in some hairy situations, and it just be the grace of God that I got out of it. Cause especially with those dogs, the
Crazy.
quiet ones are the ones that'll get you.
You better say it. Listen, telling you, it's some
If the
quiet.
dog's barking, that's all right. But the ones that don't bark, that's the ones you got to be scared of because they waiting on you to come in. They waiting on you, exactly.
That's
and
funny.
I meant what I said because they waiting on you.
Well, Mr. Christopher Dash in the building on a 4-1 podcast tonight. So now this is a moment where we get ready to flip it. This is Burning Questions, where I put my guests in a hot seat and we get ready to ask a question that basically has nothing to do with what we are talking about. It is what it is. It's Burning Questions. So at this point, I ask you, have you ever told yourself that absolutely not, I'm not doing this again. I'm not ever dating again. What was going on in your mind when you thought about that? Was it once? Was it twice? Was it 3 times, 10, whatever? But most of us out there have been to a point where we said, we're not doing this. But then you find your way downloading that dating app, going to that same pickup bar that you've been going to, been getting what you've been getting, whatever. Or maybe somebody is just like, I'm just going to try something a little bit different. Instead of going to those same places, I know I said I wasn't going to do it anymore, but let me try it by, doing something way different than what you would ever expect.
Yes, I have. I think a lot of us have done the same thing, but I've definitely said it. And a lot of times what was going through my mind, and what always kind of goes through my mind is, you want to protect your heart from being hurt. So with me, a lot of times that would cause me to isolate.
The best way that you can protect your heart, you know what that is?
No, what's that?
To not give it away. That's the best way you can protect your heart.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you got to be heartless and cruel, but
right.
That's the best way to protect it. I mean, can't nobody tear your heart up and rip it apart to pieces unless you allow them to.
Unless you allow them to.
But
and that was always my issue too. That's kind of what I work on now. But yeah, I get that. I felt that.
So I cut you off by just rambling on. But go ahead, let us know.
So yeah, and then that was my thing is, never again. So I'm just going to kind of close myself off. It's always easy to build up walls and shut down.
Now, was this 5 years ago, 10, 2, 3? We fishing now. We trying to get some information here.
So I'd say about 5 years ago.
Okay. So 5 years ago, you said nah.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Cupid came, right? And waved that magic fairy dust around and everything is good.
And with me, it's always about the connection. So whether it's a love interest, whether it's a friendship, whether it's, just a person you meet. Sometimes you just talk to people like we're having this conversation now, and it gets really deep, and you make that connection, and that just makes you forget that you was like, never again. Like you're like, whoa, this person is dope. I can actually really talk to this person, and they understand me. I kind of understand where they're coming from. Yeah, we don't agree on everything, but we have some dope conversations, and a lot of times that's what gets me.
I will tell you
making that connection.
I will tell you that is so true. Like I have been in that situation where I was like, nope, but then I was like, wow, this conversation is just so off the chain. Like I have never really connected with somebody like that. But I'll tell you that it's all about compromise too.
There you go.
In order to make something work, I had to realize that, I'm such a spoiled brat and I've been most of my life, but everything ain't going to always work out the way that Laren wants it to work out. And something's going to be a little bit different. And there might be 1 or 2 things about this person that you're really not feeling. So then you got to start to write things down. And you've heard it before. Write it down on a piece of paper. What do you like about this person? What don't you like about this person? And see what outweighs. I mean, in my last situation, I wrote
Mm-hmm.
everything that I couldn't stand, and I kept writing everything that I couldn't stand, and I kept writing everything I couldn't stand. And I'm like, wait a minute. All right, this exercise is done. We don't even need to do this. This shit is over because
Right.
you just writing everything that you don't like, and there's not too many good. But
Right.
if
Where's
the
the good?
good outweighs the bad, maybe you can tell yourself, all right, maybe I can do this thing again.
Yeah. And I
Yes.
think you made a good point too, where a lot of times we got to look at ourselves. Maybe it's us. Maybe we're the problem sometimes.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Like there's a thin
And
line. There's a small
right.
thin line between love and hate. And you
Right.
got to remember, y'all was once together. Y'all had kids together. Y'all was loving each other at one point.
Yeah.
How do we get here today where we can't stand each other? I don't like you.
Mm. Right.
You don't like me. There's that very thin line. Sometimes you have to go back and look in the mirror and be like, so what part did I play in this? How did we get here?
Right.
And
Right.
most of the time, yes, that person did all of these things. Great. They did it all.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to go back to the beginning and remember that what they told you in the beginning or what they showed you in the
Mm.
beginning is what they told
Yeah.
you and what they showed you.
Right.
Nobody told you to get all twisted and get your feelings all jacked up in it. They showed you that they were this type of person in the beginning, and that's what that means.
Right. Right.
Now
And
because
we'll
you
try to ignore that
yeah, now
because
because
we
you
see
tried
that
to
one thing.
yeah, now because you tried to ignore it and now you try to mold and make
Mm.
somebody into what you want them to make, now there becomes that tension. Instead of you just
Right.
accepting that person for who they were from the beginning,
Exactly.
now you going back
Exactly.
and forth and you pushing this person and trying to mold them and make them bend to do some of the things you want them to do and they don't want to do it. Now it becomes the back and forth and now the hate starts to come in. The love gets turned
Right.
into hate real quick. So I don't know how we
Good
get
point.
here. I don't know how we do it. I promised y'all that I really wasn't going to do the whole relationship thing, but
Hey,
it's
listen.
happened.
That's life, man. That's life. And it ain't easy. So,
I'm just thankful that I can look at some of these questions today and break them down with a good knowledge and understanding versus before
yeah.
because you couldn't tell me nothing back a couple years
Right.
ago. I was just
10 years, 5 years ago, it was a whole
oh
different
yeah,
mindset.
yeah. I feel you. I
Yeah.
feel you on that one. Growth. That's what we call it. Growth. All right,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Christopher Dash, all the way from
Yes,
Connecticut.
sir.
Every time I think of Connecticut, I laugh a little bit because I take it back to Eminem's Slim Shady record when
Yeah.
he had all of those interludes and with Ken Kniff from Connecticut.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that was your time frame, but it was mine when I was
It
growing up.
was. It was definitely was. Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness! So go ahead and let them know where they can follow you at, where they can
Okay, so
get your services.
I'm on Instagram at Dash Opia, DASHOPIA. I'm on Facebook, Dash T. You can search that and you'll find me. Or you can just go to my website, dash T dot my Shopify.com. And that's
All right. Juan is off the chain. He says, "That's my shit." I hear you.
me.
I was listening to
That's
it.
my buddy right there. We talk all the time.
I was listening to it a couple days ago. I had to go back and listen to it. I was like, all right, I remember this. Yeah. Well, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. I know we have been waiting for this moment. Hopefully, the 411 podcast does not let
Yeah,
you down, and it is everything you expected in this experience tonight. The conversation was definitely
sure.
on point, and I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Absolutely. There you go. Mr. Christopher Dash in the building tonight on the podcast. Dash Tees. I want to say thank you so much. And I might, use your services. We got a couple things coming up where we can get some custom made apparel that will make sense. So I'll definitely, you made a connection tonight. And hopefully you make so many connections tonight through people who watch the replays and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. Take care, sir, and I'll be in touch. Thank you so much for joining.
All right. Have a good night.
Take care. Good night. All right, y'all. There you have it. That was Mr. Christopher Dash Tees in the building tonight. Can I just say thank you all so much out there. So many people came in, popping in and out, showing so much love from different areas. TikTok has been hanging with me all night. I appreciate you. Instagram family, I see so many different people coming in and out there. Facebook. Listen, I appreciate each and every one of you. Like I said, whether it's one, whether it's two, whether it's 10, when more than one person gets together, two or more, magic is created, and magic definitely was created here tonight on the 411 podcast. And I just have to say thank you so much because I could not do it without each and every one of you. And of course, I most certainly could not do it without my executive producer, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing me to come out here and give you all the 411 podcast one more time in life. Now, if you would like to support the 411 podcast and Reading Between the Lines, please go ahead and click that link above all of my social media platforms and go inside of volume 1.5 Deliberation Remix Journal. You can purchase my new book for $7.99, and that will help support and keep everything rocking and rolling. And if you would like to be a guest here on the 411 podcast to share your thoughts, share your wisdom, share your business, share your experiences, please go ahead and text me at 609-738-0611. Again, that number is 609-738-0611. You can also DM me on all of my social media platforms, and I will get back with you, and hopefully we'll get you here on a 411 podcast. Man, I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and we rocking and rolling right here tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, take care, y'all, and I'll see you the next time around. Have a good night. Thank you so much.